Okay. Hmm? Somebody's coming? Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu, please come. We're just talking about you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we were thinking, you were traveling the week before Ananda Mela, right? So you just came back?
We came back like that Wednesday or so.
Okay.
And we were out.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's why I did not see you at Ananda Mela also. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So where did we stop last week? I think verse 40 or something, right?
41.
41. Okay. Yeah, so before we get into today's class, so I asked a question on the group, right? So I know Swati and Ashok, they said it's an excellent question. So I was expecting some excellent reply. Yeah. So any thoughts on that?
The three people who were blind, obviously Rashtra was blind.
Yeah.
Affection to his sons.
Yeah.
Even though he had to do the time as a king.
Yeah.
And the other person is like Duryodhana.
Yeah.
He was also blind because of his ambition and he wanted everything because of his greed.
Yeah.
He was blind. And Arjuna was blind because of his affection and to be on the righteous path. He was confused.
Yeah.
So he was also blinded.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So Dhritarashtra's blindness was physical blindness, and Duryodhana's blindness was, it's like prejudicial blindness. He was envious of Pandavas, because when when Dronacharya taught archery skills to both Pandavas and Kauravas, Pandavas were, they were cultivating agriculture and doing a lot of good things to others. So they were getting name and fame. So seeing that Duryodhana and party, they were very envious of Pandavas. So Duryodhana's blindness is prejudicial blindness out of enviousness, out of strong attachment for the power and position. So that's Duryodhana's blindness. And Arjuna's blindness was, it's a circumstantial blindness. So he is not physically blind. He does not have envy towards anybody. Okay. But it's circumstantial blindness. He was put into a circumstance, and he was blind to see the true vision. He was blind to see the true vision. So he was only identifying with the material body, but he was blind to see the spiritual vision. So that was Arjuna's situation. So how do we apply this? These three things, these three blindness, these three types of blindness in our life. So fortunately, we are not physically blind. Okay. Are we prejudicially blind? Yes, right? We are envious. We are envious of almost everyone. Why Kiran only has Tesla? Why not me? or why Aparna bought a new house in Renton? Why not? Why not me? So we are prejudicially blind. So when we are envious of others, it makes us oblivious to many things. Okay. And then third category, we are blind to spiritual vision. We are blind to see spiritual vision. That's why we are here in the material world, and we are suffering. So, okay. Okay, Mohanji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, सॉरी मैं ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाया दो
Hare
तीन
Krishna, how are you?
बहुत अच्छा हूँ. I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, long time. I think it's been a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, I know. I went to Purdue, and after that, I have some events going on, and it was very much coinciding, very difficult. But like I just want to continue this one.
Yes, yes.
Today, I canceled all of these things, and I don't know. There's no way I can miss this wonderful opportunity for me.
Yeah, good to know that. So you went to Purdue to join your children?
Yeah, so I took my daughter over there. I think we will be going in next week. I will not be going. My wife will be going, but we visited during that time to see how the Purdue University look like
Okay.
and all. So that was 1 week. After that, like all these other activities going on in the summer. So
Yeah.
just like they catch up on the weekend,
Okay.
and we had a Sundarkand part at our home, like because daughter is going to Purdue, so we wanted to have a spiritual activity at our home.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So who did Sundarkand Parayan?
So we have a Pandit ji came at our home from Sacramento, but
Okay.
we all recited together. Like I'm an avid reader of Ramayana,
Okay.
Ramcharitmanas, so we
Oh,
did it together. I think it was like 3 hours recitation, and we sang
nice.
all of bhajans and all. So it was a wonderful opportunity. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So now all that is done, and I think I'm back to this Amrita of Bhagavad Gita, which I was missing.
Yeah, and we have a lot to hear from you from Sundarkand and Ramayana.
Oh, sure, definitely. But I think I'm learning lot of these. This is very like inner opening, I would say, listening that how we interpret and how like your preachings and your teachings are that which is enlightening our
Yeah.
thought process.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so you live in Sammamish?
No, I live in Fremont and in Bay Area.
Oh, you are in Bay Area, right? Okay.
Yeah, if I am in nearby, then there's no reason that I will not come in person and
Right. Yeah, that's what I was wondering,
yeah.
And when you said some Pandit ji came from Sacramento, I was wondering if Pandit ji came from Sacramento to Seattle.
No, no.
Just
Yeah.
to recite,
It's just like 100
comment.
miles or probably if it's 70, 80 miles away from our home.
Yeah. I know. I lived in Pleasanton, Foster City.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Pleasanton is like what 20 miles away from us.
Yeah.
तो आप उधर कब मूव किए सियाटल कब मूव किया? When did you move?
2009.
Oh, 2000.
Yeah. So I used to work at Oracle in area.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have here.
Namaste. Hare Krishna.
Ashok, Kiran, Aparna, Swati.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So is that your daughter in the back?
No, she's my wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. So, okay. So we are just getting started. Yeah. Okay. Let's recite the shlokas. Actually, it's been a while since we recited the shlokas. Let's recite the shlokas first. So, Bhagavad Gita Chapter 1, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Dhritarashtra uvacha. That actually all of us can recite together. Dhritarashtra uvacha. Dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. Sanjaya uvacha. दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानीकं व्यूढं दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यम् उपसङ्गम्य राजा वचनमब्रवीत् पश्यैतां पाण्डुपुत्राणाम् आचार्य महतीं च मुं व्यूढं द्रुपदपुत्रेण तव शिष्येन धीमता अत्र शूरा महेश्वासा भीमार्जुनसमायुधि युयुधानो विराटश्च द्रुपदश्च महारथः अष्टकेतुश्चेकितानः काशीराजश्च वीर्यवान् पुरुजित् कुन्तिभोजश्च शैब्यश्च नरपुङ्गवः युधामन्युश्च विक्रान्ता उत्तमौजाश्च वीर्यवान् सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्व एव महारथाः अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तान् निबोधाद्विजोत्तमा नायका मम सैन्यस्य संज्ञार्थं तां ब्रवीमि ते भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च कृपश्च समितिञ्जयः अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च सौमदत्तिस्तथैव च अन्ये च बहवः शूरा मदर्थे त्यक्तजीविताः नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितं पर्याप्तं त्विदमेतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम् अयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथा भागं तवस्थिताः भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु भवन्तः सर्व एव हि तस्य सञ्जनयन् हर्षं कुरु वृद्धा पितामहः सिंहनादं विनद्योच्चै शङ्खं दद्मौ प्रतापवान् शङ्काश्च वीर्यश्च पणवानकगोमुखाः सहसैवाभ्यनन्तश्च सशब्दस्तु मुलोऽभवत् तथा श्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महती स्कन्दने स्थितौ माधवा पाण्डवाश्चैव दिव्यौ शङ्कौ प्रदग्मतुः पाञ्चजन्यं हृषीकेशो देवदत्तं धनञ्जय पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्कं भीमकर्मावृकोदरः अनन्तविजयं राजा कुन्तीपुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः नकुलः सहदेवश्च सुघोषमणिपुष्पकौ काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः शिखण्डी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकीश्च पराजितः पदौ द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहु शङ्खान् दद्मौ पृथक् पृथक् सघोषोदार्तराष्ट्राणां हृदयानि व्यधारयत् नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव तुमुलोऽभ्यनुनादयन् अतव्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा दार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुद्यम्य पाण्डवः ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यम् इदम् आह महीपते अर्जुन उवाच सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये रथं स्थापयमेच्युत यावदेतान् ऋषिकेऽहं योद्धुकामान् अवस्थितान् कैर्मया सह योद्धव्यम् अस्मिन् रणसमुद्यमे योत्स्यमानान् अवेक्षेऽहं ययेतेऽत्र समागताः धार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेर्युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः संजय उवाच एवमुक्तो हृषीकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम् भीष्मद्रोण प्रमुखतः सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान् समवेतान् कुरूनिति तत्र पश्यास्थितान् पार्थ पितॄन् अथ पितामहान् आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रातॄन् पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखींस्तथा श्वशुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि तान् समीक्ष्य स कौन्तेय सर्वान् बन्धून् अवस्थितान् कृपया परयाविष्टो विषीदन् इदमब्रवीत् अर्जुन उवाच दृष्ट्वेवं स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितं सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति वेपतुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते गाण्डीवं स्रंसते हस्तात् त्वच्चैव परिदह्यते न च शक्नोमि अवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगा सुखानि च तैमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्या पितरा पुत्रास्तथैव च पितामहः मातुला श्वशुरा पौत्रा शाला सम्बन्धिनस्तदा एतान्न हन्तुमिच्छामि ज्ञतोऽपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतो किन्नु मही कृते निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रान्न का प्रीतिः स्यात् जनार्दन पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान् हत्वैतान् आततायिनः तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् सबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः श्याम माधव यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षया कृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम् कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान् निवर्तितुं कुलक्षया कृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन कुलक्षये प्रणश्यन्ति कुलधर्मा सनातनः धर्मे नष्टे कुलं कृत्स्नम् अधर्मोऽभिभवत्युत अधर्माभिभवात् कृष्ण प्रदुष्यन्ति कुलस्त्रियः स्त्रीषु दुष्टासु वार्ष्णेया जायते वर्णसङ्करः सङ्करो नरकायैव कुलघ्नानां कुलस्य च पतन्ति पितरो ह्येषां लुप्तपिण्डोदकक्रियाः दोषैरेतैकुलघ्नानां वर्णसङ्करकारकैः उत्साद्यन्ते जातिधर्माः कुलधर्माश्च शाश्वताः उत्सन्नकुलधर्माणां मनुष्याणां जनार्दन नरके नियतं वासो भवतीत्यनुशुश्रुमा अहो बत महत्पापं कर्तुं व्यवसिता वयं यद्राज्यसुखलोभेन हन्तुं स्वजनमुद्यता यदि मामप्रतीकारम् अशस्त्रं शस्त्रपाणयः धार्तराष्ट्रारणे हन्यु तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत् सञ्जय उवाच एवमुक्त्वार्जुनः सङ्ख्ये रथोपस्थ उपाविशत् विसृज्य सशरं चापं शोकसंविग्नमानसः Okay, that was chapter 1, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Okay, so So we are in the section where Arjuna is expressing his fourth reason for not fighting. That is destruction of family dynasty. Okay. So the four reasons are, first one was, sorry,
It's compassion.
is compassion. Compassion for his own people, compassion for his teacher, for his grandfather, cousins, and other relatives. Second reason was
Loss of enjoyment.
loss of enjoyment. If he kills his own people, how can he enjoy the kingdom? Okay, loss of enjoyment. So third one, fear of sinful reactions. Okay, so there are six kind of aggressors who commit abominable sinful reactions. Okay, there are abominable sinful activities. Okay, there are sinful activities that can be forgiven, small simple activities that can be forgiven, but there are abominable sinful activities which cannot be forgiven, and if one commits those abominable sinful activities, one can be killed. That person can be killed. But Arjuna quotes Dharma Shastra. Arjuna quotes Ardha Shastra, and eventually he quotes Dharma Shastra, and he says, if I kill my own people, I will incur sinful reactions. So fear of sinful reactions, that's the third reason. And fourth reason, destruction of family dynasty. So destruction of family dynasty, after destroying the family dynasty, the varnashrama system will be spoiled, and then it leads to irreligious activities. And we saw a series of steps in this destruction of family dynasty. So first one was death of elderly people, right? So what happens if elderly people are killed in the family? So what happens if elderly people are killed? Yeah, samskaras. Yeah. So elderly people are there generally to guide the younger generation to perform purificatory processes, which are samskaras. There are 16 samskaras, okay, that we discussed in the last class. So if elderly people are not there, then there is nobody to guide the younger generation to perform these samskaras. And then if the samskaras are stopped, then it leads to irreligious activities. Okay, because if the samskaras are not performed, whatever you do will be inauspicious. Okay, right from birth to death, everything will be inauspicious. So even the child who is born, the child will be of inauspicious if the samskaras are not performed before birth. The Garbhadan samskara is not performed, and even after the child is born, there are so many samskaras that need to be performed. Okay, if they are not carried out, then you are only invoking auspiciousness. So, which means it leads to irreligious activities. And then, if the children are killed, in the same destruction of family dynasty, we discussed what happens if the elderly people are killed, and what happens if the children are killed, if the young people are killed. So, what happens if the younger people are killed? Last rites, yeah, last rites, and also to offer Shraddha ceremony, for the elderly people who passed away. So if the children who are the younger people who are supposed to offer oblations or do Pinda Pradhan for the elderly people who departed from this material world, if those activities are stopped, the elderly people, they will fall down. They'll fall down from the Pitruloka, and then there is no path for them to progress on the spiritual path. Okay. And then we also discussed how women get polluted. Okay. Did we discuss that or not yet?
you.
Okay, so what we'll do is now we'll recite, we'll read the translations of all the verses in this section. Okay, verses 39 to 43, right? Yeah, that is where the destruction of family dynasty is. So verse 38 is where Arjuna is saying, O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying the family, engage in these acts of sin? So this is where we discussed about Loba, right? Duryodhana, overcome by greed, overcome by greed, is blind to see what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. So they are ready to fight because they are not, the Duryodhana party, they are not able to see what is right and wrong. But we, or especially I, when I can see what is right and wrong, why should I fight? Why should I fight? So that is Arjuna's question. Okay. So that verse 38 ends that section, fear of sinful reactions. Okay. Now starting from verse 39 is the destruction of family dynasty. Arjuna's fourth reason for not fighting. So we'll recite all the we'll read all the translations, 39 to 43. Then we will know the flow. What are the different different things that can happen in this process of destruction of family dynasty. Okay, so we'll go around the room and then read the translations. You want to start? 39.
With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion.
But irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna. The women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Krishna, comes unwanted progeny.
Yeah, so this is the verse where the women get polluted, that is discussed in verse 40. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life, both for their family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped.
By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated.
O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell. Okay. So these are the set of verses in the destruction of family dynasty. Okay. So death of elderly people, and then the family traditions will stop. All the samskaras will stop, which will lead to irreligious activities. And then women get polluted. When women get polluted, they are exploited by other men. That leads to unwanted progeny, varna sankara. Okay, unwanted progeny, and then the varna sankara has different effects. It leads to definitely leads to war and hellish life for both the family and the society. And ancestors fall down because the oblations are not given to the ancestors. Pinda Pradhana stops basically. And all community and family welfare projects stop. So Jati Dharma and Kula Dharma. So what is Kula Dharma and Jati Dharma?
From it's the intrinsic characteristics.
Okay.
So Kula Dharma and Jati Dharma.
Mhm. So Kula Dharma is basically the Varnashrama system. Okay, the four Varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Okay, uh, so Brahmin people who are belonging to the Brahmana, Varna. Yeah, they have to perform certain rituals every day, and then their main duty is to preach. Okay, so to preach this Vedic knowledge to others. And then Kshatriyas, their main duty is protection, leadership and protection. And then Vaishyas, their main duty is cow protection, agriculture, business. So they maintain the other three classes of people. Okay, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Shudra are maintained by Vaishyas because they are the people who earn money by cultivating agriculture and by cow protection, by producing milk and milk products. So the Vaishya class people, they maintain the other three classes of people. And then Shudra. Shudras, their duty is like servants. They serve the other three classes of family. So this is Kula Dharma. And Jati Dharma is like community projects. So when the dynasty is destroyed, so first of all, the duties that are performed within the family, they are stopped, and then there is no hope for progress on the spiritual path. Okay, and then the community projects like big temples or any community building projects, they are also stopped. So the society in general is not given an opportunity to progress on the spiritual path. So these two are the negative effects of destruction of family dynasty. Jati Dharma and Kula Dharma, they are destroyed. So basically, culture is destroyed. That culture is in two different forms: Jati Dharma and Kula Dharma. So we can read Prabhupada's purports, starting from verse 42. So verse 42. So we read verse 41, right?
Yeah, 41
It's completed, right? Yes. Yeah. So verse 42. दोषैरेते कुलग्नानां वर्णसङ्करकारकैः उत्साद्यन्ते जातिधर्मा कुलधर्माश्च शाश्वतः. By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. Community project, Prabhupada, purport by Srila Prabhupada, community projects for the, or somebody wants to read. Ashok, why don't you go ahead and read purport?
Community projects for the four orders of human society combined with the family welfare activities as they are set forth by the institution of Sanatana Dharma or Varnashrama Dharma are designed to enable the human being to attain his ultimate salvation. Therefore, the breaking of the Sanatana Dharma tradition by irresponsible leaders of society and bring about chaos in that society. And consequently, people forget the aim of life, Vishnu. Such leaders are blind, and persons who follow such leaders are sure to be led into chaos.
Yeah. Okay. See, now imagine what would have happened to all of us if there is no temple here in Samansh, right? So this temple, I mean, the building that you see, it was built in 2008. So Kiran, you must have seen, right? You have been here even before the temple construction, right? Yeah. So before this building was there in 2008, there was a small house, and Harivilas Prabhu, he has been here for last 25 years or so. Okay. Before that, he was in Paris and different areas. So he maintained a temple in California, Phoenix, Portland, several other places, and finally he came here. Now imagine this is a community project, right? So what would happen? What would have happened if this temple was not there? I'm sure many people would have gone into depression. Okay, I mean it may sound very, you know, it may sound like an overstatement or too much boasting of the project, but that is true. Look at the time that we all spent in 2 years in pandemic. It was so depressing. It was so depressing, and we are fortunate we were able to go to the temple. And even if we were not able to go to the temple, right? At least the philosophy is there for us to get some peace of mind and to understand what was happening in general. The philosophy was there, the understanding of Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, it was there. So because of that, we did not run into depression. Otherwise, in Seattle, with this cloudy weather and where you are not able to go out, you're not able to go to office, you're not able to go to, children are not able to go to schools, and you cannot socialize, you cannot attend any parties, no vacation, nothing. It's like you're captivated in a prison. Okay, so I mean, especially for me, going to the temple during pandemic also, and then having the background of Bhagavad Gita, that was the solace. Otherwise, how would why COVID occurs, and there was no clue, right? Without knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, you wouldn't understand anything. So if there are no projects like community projects like the temple that we see here, or community preaching is not happening in general, then eventually it leads to irreligious activities. I mean, if the temple is not there, what would we do? We would engage in other, sinful activities, right? We'd go to pubs, or there is a saying, right? A good person is a person because he did not get an opportunity to engage in sinful activities. Do you hear this? A good person is a person. A good person remained a good person because he is not given an opportunity to engage in sinful activities, or he did not get an opportunity to engage in sinful activities. Okay, so that way, the community projects like this, they are shielding us, they are protecting us from engaging in sinful activities and the consequences out of it. So I mean, we don't realize the value of it when we have thing in our hand, right? We don't realize the value of it. But when you are gone away from the temple, or something happens to the temple, and then you realize the importance of it. Especially during COVID time, many people would have realized, right? They were not able to come to the temple, and they could feel, how much they were missing the temple, and the importance of coming to the temple and participating in various service activities. So as Prabhupada writes in this purport, verse 43, the purpose of these Kula Dharma and Jati Dharma community projects and family welfare activities, the main goal is salvation, to attain ultimate salvation. So if we don't follow Varnashrama Dharma, or if there are no community preaching projects happening, then we will not fulfill the purpose of human life and achieve ultimate salvation. So yeah, imagine, right? If Prabhupada had not come to America, and if he had not preached in New York and Boston, this movement would not have occurred at all. Krishna conscious movement, ISKCON movement, wouldn't have happened at all. And now millions of people around the world, they are taking shelter of Krishna. They are ready studying Bhagavad Gita. They are participating in kirtans, sankirtans. They are visiting temples. You know, see, otherwise, when problems arise in life, when situations happen in life, you don't have a clue, why they are happening, why bad activities are happening. Okay, in Discover Yourself, we had that session, right? Why bad things happen to good people, and vice versa. Why good things happen to bad people, right? So if you don't understand Bhagavad Gita, it's impossible to know why bad things happen to good people and why good things happen to bad people. And we'll be scratching our head, all the while, and we'll go mad after some time. Yeah. So uh, without engaging in these activities, the Varnashrama Dharma and Sanatana Dharma activities, it is very easy to become mentally disabled. It's very easy to become mentally disabled. And the degree varies, right? Somebody may have what is called as schizophrenia. You know what schizophrenia is? So that's an extreme state of mental disability. Okay, so it's a question for their own existence, and they start doubting everything, and you know that's the extreme case of mental disability. So the degrees of mental disability could vary from person to person, but yeah, without this knowledge, it's impossible to know what's happening in our life. And it's very easy. A person will go bad, very very easily. Prabhupada writes, therefore, the breaking of Sanatana Dharma tradition by irresponsible leaders of society brings about chaos in the society, and consequently, people forget the aim of life, Vishnu. Such leaders are called blind, and persons who follow such leaders are sure to be led into chaos. Okay, next one. Utsanna kula dharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati tyanushruma. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell. So here, Arjuna takes different names of Krishna, right? Madhava, Janardana, Mukunda, and so on. So depending on the context, Arjuna uses a specific name. So here, he uses the name Janardana. So Utsanna Kula Dharmanam Manushyanam Janardana. So any idea why Arjuna is using the name Janardana here?
I actually looked it up and it says, liberator of cycle from birth and death is Janardana.
Janardana is liberator
Of birth, liberator from the
cycle of birth and death. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And anything else?
Because he's mentioning over here that the family traditions are being destroyed.
Mhm.
By saying Janardhan, he's actually hoping that uh, he will maintain that he'll give some answers to maintain that, to help with that destruction.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Since here we are talking about the people, if the family traditions are broken, they will end up in.
Yeah.
So Janardana is someone who takes care of people. That is why he uses the word Janardana
Yeah.
for Krishna.
Okay. Yeah. So if you look at the translation, right? Oh Krishna, maintainer of the people. So Janardana, it has two meanings. As Aparna said, one who delivers from the cycle of birth and death, and another meaning is maintainer of the people. Okay. So, so here Arjuna is referring to Krishna as Janardana because he is Krishna who is supposed to maintain people. Now he is asking Arjuna to kill them. He's asking Arjuna to kill them. One who is supposed to maintain people is asking Arjuna to kill them. Okay, and that and also specifically here in this verse, so maintaining of people means giving them protection, especially spiritual protection, spiritual guidance and protection, so that they are elevated to the higher planets. Okay, Svargaloka or Vaikuntha Loka, Goloka, Ayodhya Loka, and so on, depending on the uh, the personality of Godhead that you worship. You are elevated to different planetary systems at the time of death, after death. So if one is a worshipper of Lord Ram, they are elevated to Ayodhya, planet. Okay, and if one is a worshipper of Krishna, then they are elevated to Goloka. If one is a worshipper of Vishnu, Vaikuntha, and so on. There are billions of planets in the spiritual realm. Okay, just like how there are billions of universes within each planet, there are billions of planets in the spiritual realm. Okay, depending on who you worship, you're taken to that specific planet. So here Arjuna is calling Krishna as Janardana because he is supposed to maintain people and show them a path to progress on the spiritual life, and then finally he is the one who is helping people to go to higher planet systems, whereas he is asking Arjuna to kill people, and by killing people he incurs sinful reactions and he may be pushed to hellish planets, Patala Loka. So then Krishna is not maintaining, right? When Krishna is maintaining people, that means they should be progressing towards higher planetary systems. Okay, but Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to fight, to kill people, and by killing people, then Arjuna incurs the sinful reactions, and he may be pushed down to hellish planets, Patal Loka. O Krishna, maintainer of people, I have heard by disciplic succession that who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell. So if Arjuna is the cause of destruction of family traditions, then he may be subject to the consequences of it, and he may be pushed down to the hellish planets. So then the very meaning of Janardana is lost. Okay, Krishna is not maintaining the people there. Okay, so Arjuna is quoting all Shastric, references, and he's saying, I have heard by disciplic succession. He's not saying, I have heard, or he's not saying, if one kills, if one destroys family traditions, they'll be pushed to Patala Loka. He's not simply saying that. He's saying, I have heard from disciplic succession. He's quoting, proper references. So, also another point here. Actually, two things here. Two questions may arise here. If you look at the translation, those who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell. So anything that strikes your mind now? If you just observe that line, those who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell. Just look at that part. Those who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell.
Basically, kind of, it says that anyone who is destroying family traditions, meaning there's no opportunity to progress in spiritual thing because you're destroying it.
Yeah.
So you're causing sin of not letting them progress.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. If you take simply the literary meaning of that line, okay, those who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell. Just go by the literary meaning of that sentence and see anything that strikes your mind.
Those who do not follow the sanskaras and everything that is passed down to them,
Mhm.
if they don't follow, even the general public does not follow, they will probably go to hell. They will go to hell.
Okay, yeah, that is also true.
Also, if you don't,
Okay, so let me be even more specific, right?
it's like non-violence in religion kind of example.
or if you don't follow that, your life will be like that. Living here is like you don't have to go to Pata. The world itself feels like a Pata.
Okay, so let me be more specific. Dwell always in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget the rest of the translation and just focus on these three words. Dwell always in hell.
Rhyming.
Yeah, that's a good
They
thing.
think,
Huh?
they think that they will go to hell if they think. Dwelling is thinking.
Yeah.
So they are.
No,
even
dwelling is living.
dwelling.
Dwelling is residing. Dwelling unit means house.
Okay. So
Dwell always in hell.
so if it boils down to that if you don't have family traditions, right? That itself means you are already in hell.
Okay. Dwell always in hell. Okay. Now forget about family traditions, samskaras, everything. Just those three words. Dwell always in hell.
If you don't have Krishna in life, then life becomes hell.
Okay.
Dwell in hell. Right?
Dwell in hell.
Always in hell.
Okay.
You don't have God or anything. then
Yeah.
That is hell.
Yeah.
Absence of Krishna is a hell only.
Yeah. Absence of Krishna is hell. Very good. That is also there. Okay.
Can it also mean that that's the default norm of being here? Dwell always in hell, and only if you bring spirituality or some kind of the right kind of power in your life,
Okay.
only then life starts to become better. So you are on a default.
Okay.
Dwell always in hell.
Okay. No, these are all good points.
But like looking at it, it says basically, it says you are living in hell.
Yeah. Okay. Mohanji, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you very, like when you're talking, Prabhuji, I can hear very clearly.
Okay.
But when other Prabhujis are talking, it is
Okay. So they are a little away from the computer.
yeah.
Okay. We'll figure out a nice way of capturing the audio, of other people.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So, okay. So dwell always in hell. That should rise to two questions. Okay. One is, see, it says always in hell. That means it it tells as if hell is permanent. Dwell always in hell. Always means it's permanent, right?
Yeah.
Eternal. So dwell always in hell means somebody who committed, who is the cause of family tradition, destruction of family traditions, will remain in hell forever. Will always live in hell forever. So the first question that should arise is hell permanent? Is hell permanent? Yes or no?
No.
Hmm?
No.
No. Yes? Is hell permanent? Yes or no?
I'm unsure.
You're not sure? Okay.
It depends on how we perceive life. If we have God in our life, then it's
Now
not
here hell
permanent.
means the hellish planets, Patala Loka.
Hellish
Yeah,
planet.
hell is permanent, but people who are living in hell or maybe not living temporary. Is that?
Okay. So Mohanji, spilled the beans for the second question. People living in the hell, are they permanent?
No.
Is hell permanent? That's the first question. And people living in the hell, are they permanent? Do they live in hell forever, permanently? That's the second question.
Okay, so two explicit questions.
Yeah.
Like hell as a planet, it's permanent.
Yeah, hell. Yeah, exactly. Hell, I'm referring to hellish planets.
Yeah.
Planets are permanent.
Okay.
But people living in hell planet, they're not permanent.
Okay.
Because they have the opportunity to, and as such, you have the cycle of birth and death.
Mhm.
So for sure, there'll be death in hell as well.
Yeah.
And based on the past karmas, assuming you have done good,
Mhm.
you will be out of hellish planet as well.
Yeah.
So it is not permanent. I mean, people in hell are not permanent.
Okay.
They will be able to progress to the other planets.
Yeah. Okay. So Ashok.
So, no, because like there's some shlokas which says like people who do sin, they will go away down the hellish planets,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure when they will rise from the hellish planets
To higher
to
planetary
higher
systems.
planets.
Yeah.
So I don't have a clue.
Okay.
I have some questions on that.
Okay. So let's take one part at a time. So is hell permanent or not? I mean, hellish planet. Is hellish planet permanent or not?
Yes, because
Yes.
Everybody saying yes, including Mohanji. Everybody is saying yes. So people in Washington, California, at least 2 states, the most intelligent people are in California and Washington. All the IT people and scientific people, Harvard University and I mean Stanford University, and they're all here.
But
So
Prabhu, I have a thought though, like, we have, everything is going through all these cycles of destruction, construction, right?
yes,
So at some point it's going to be destructed.
yeah,
So I mean, that time is always constant.
yeah,
So that's what, so in that sense, it's not permanent, because it is going through that cycle of
yes,
inhaling, or when Brahma's
very
or
good.
Vishnu is going in and out breathing,
Yeah.
he's getting destruction, construction. That is constant.
Yeah, very good, very good. So see, you went to Vrindavan. That's why you have this clear answer. so, so Mohanji, Aparna is saying here, hell is not permanent. Hellish planets, hellish planetary system is not permanent. That's true. It's not permanent. Okay. Before that, is Earth planet permanent or not? No, right? Yeah. Then why hellish planet will be permanent? Yeah. So hellish planet, earthly planet, even heavenly planet is not permanent. Heavenly planet is also part of the material world. It's a higher planet. It's a higher planetary system, higher than earthly planet, where you have longer life and more comforts. You don't have to work, and there'll be people will be working for you. All kinds of comforts will be there, and longer life. You'll drink somarasa, and longer life will be there. Somarasa is nothing but the alcohol here, kind of, which increases the span of life, So, I mean, life on heavenly planet definitely is good, right? But that is also part of material world, which is temporary. Okay, so these three planetary systems, Swargaloka, Bhuloka, and Patadaloka. These three planetary systems are temporary. So when the time comes, they are annihilated. When they are annihilated, all these three planetary systems are gone. They are wiped out. Okay. So that is first part. Is hellish planet permanent or no? The answer is no, it is not permanent. And similarly, the second part, the people living in hellish planets, they are also not permanent. Okay, when the planet is not permanent, obviously, the people living in planet also not permanent. Again, within the cycle of the hellish planet, also the people are not permanent. Let's say the lifespan of hellish planet, before the annihilation, let's say the hellish planet exists for some million years. Okay, let's say for some random number, some million years. Okay, so during that span also, the people living in hellish planet, they don't live there for such long. They may not live for such long. They may live, but they may not live for such long. Because if there is a devotee who is going to hellish planet and preaching, then they get an opportunity to progress to the higher planetary systems. Like Narada Muni, he can travel across these three planetary systems. Wherever he wants, he can go to Patala Loka, he can come to Bhuloka and then heavenly planets. He can sing, glories of Lord Narayana. And then whoever hears in Patala Loka, whoever hears the glories of Lord Narayana, they get a chance to go to higher planetary systems. Okay, so here, when Arjuna is saying, those who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell, it doesn't mean that, as the literary meaning sounds, they don't dwell in hell always. They don't dwell in hell forever. Okay, that's not, the planetary system is not permanent. At the same time, God, who is punishing such people to go to hell, he is not so merciless that God will put them in hellish planets forever. Okay, so God gives, the God accompanies them. Even in hellish planets, a person cannot exist without Paramatma in their heart, right? So whether you are in a human life in Patala Loka, or whether you are in the form of an insect life in Patala Loka, or whether you are a demon in Patala Loka, Krishna is always accompanying them in the form of Paramatma. So even in Patala Loka, he is not leaving them. So he is still Janardana. He is still maintaining them. So Arjuna's understanding is he is not maintaining them. That's why he uses some sarcasm and says, "Oh, you are supposed to be Janardana, but why you are encouraging me to kill people? I will incur sinful reactions and I'll be punished to go to Patala Loka. Then you are no longer a Janardana." But even if a person goes to Patala Loka, Krishna is maintaining them. Krishna is living in them as Paramatma, and he is guiding them. He is maintaining them. So Krishna is the maintainer in all the three worlds. In all the planetary systems, Krishna is maintaining people always. Okay, but the literary meaning of dwell always in hell, it amplifies the gravity of the abominable activity. It amplifies the gravity of the activity. So what is that activity? destruction of family traditions. So just to amplify the gravity of that activity, Arjuna is using the word always, always in hell. Okay. Narake niyatam vaso bhavati anushushruma. Niyatam. The word Arjuna is using is niyatam, always. Narake niyatam vaso. Well, always in hell. So just to amplify the gravity of the consequences of performing such abominable activity, Arjuna is using that. So let's read the purport quickly. Arjuna, so Mohanji, you want to read the purport, verse 43?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Arjuna bases his argument not on his personal experience, but on what he has heard from the authorities. This is the way of receiving real knowledge. One cannot reach the real point of factual knowledge without being helped by the right person who is already established in that knowledge. There is a system in the Varnashma institution by which, before death, one has to undergo the process of atonement for his sinful activities. One who is always engaged in a sinful activities must utilize the process of atonement called prayachita. Prayachita. Without doing so, one surely will be transferred to Hellis planet to undergo miserable lives as the result of sinful activities.
Yeah. Okay. So, so there are atonement processes prescribed in Vedas. If one commits the abominable activity, there is a process of atonement. You know, what do they call in Christianity? You know, when they perform sinful activities, they go to the church and
They talk to the father and
yeah. What is that called?
confess.
Confession. Yeah, confession. Yeah, confession. So, I mean, you know, just by simply confessing, you know, you don't get atonement for your sinful activities. So, whereas in Vedas, there are processes prescribed to get atonement. Okay. So, when such processes are performed, one gets atonement and they don't go to hellish planets. Even though they committed abominable activities, they don't go to hellish planets. But without doing so, without performing prayashchitta, one surely will be transferred to hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as the result of sinful activities. Okay. Next verse 44. So it's almost 6:30, right? Yeah, we can finish this chapter today. Finally. Verse 44. Aho bata mahatpapam kartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukha lobhena hantum swajanamudhyata. Driven by selfish, oh no, sorry, translation. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Purport: driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. There are many such instances in the history of the world. But Arjuna, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities. Okay. How strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Yeah. Arjuna is saying this. Yeah. So we see even in today's world, right? somebody killed their father, mother, their own child, or the parents killed their own children, or brother, sister, we see in the news all the time, you know. So, and there were many incidents in the history also. In Puranas, there were many incidents where such incidents happened. So that's what Arjuna is, expressing a surprise, actually, right? That how we are inclined to perform these greatly sinful acts. Yeah, aho bata mahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukalobhena hantum swajana mudyata. Driven by the selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts by killing of one's own brother, mother, father. Yeah. Aho bata mahat papam. Mahat means great. So that girl who just walked up the stairs, her name is Mahati. so, so that name comes from, Mahat, great. Mahati means one who is a great person of great qualities. Yeah. Okay, next verse 45. Yadi mam apratīkāram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarane hanyus tanme kshemataram bhavet. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. It is the custom, according to Kshatriya fighting principles, that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Arjuna, however, decided that even if attacked by the enemy in such an awkward position, he would not fight. He did not consider how much the other party was bent upon fighting. All these symptoms are due to soft-heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord. Better for me, the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, but to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Yeah, so even on the battlefield, there are some protocols and principles followed. Okay, so if a person is unarmed, okay, if he throws away his sword or other, archery weapons, yeah, he should not be attacked. So Arjuna is saying, even if even if the Kauravas attack me unarmed, I will not fight back. Okay, even if they don't follow the protocol on the battlefield, even if they see me as unarmed and they try to kill me or attack me, I will not fight. So, because Arjuna's fear is that if he, see, for Kshatriyas, begging for a Kshatriya is unheard of. Okay, no matter what his situation is, a Kshatriya can never beg. So his psychological nature does not allow to beg, and also the Kshatriya dharma itself does not facilitate a Kshatriya to beg. It's not in their nature at all. Kshatriya is a leader. He's always very strong and leader. So he does not beg. There's no begging. There's no concept of begging, or there's no word in their dictionary. That begging is not there in their dictionary at all. So if Arjuna, even if he loses the kingdom, okay, see, if Kshatriya does not have a kingdom, how can they maintain their sustenance? only by begging, right? Because they cannot preach, like Brahmana, they cannot preach and they cannot get any donations, or they cannot be like Vaishyas, they cannot do cow protection or farming business, etc. So they cannot do this or that, and they cannot become like a Shudra also, right? So the only means of survival is by begging. If they don't have kingdom, the only means of survival for them is by begging. So what Arjuna is saying, that even if they kill me unarmed, I will not fight back. I will not beg, or I will not fight back. And Prabhupada writes, all these symptoms are due to soft-heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord. Okay, any other points before we go to the last verse and whatever we discussed so far? Now in the next chapter, chapter 2, when Krishna starts speaking, he uses a counter argument for all of this. Now Arjuna very cleverly is crafting all these arguments, right? I have heard from disciplic succession, and he's quoting Dharma Shastra, Ardha Shastra, very cleverly, he's crafting all these arguments. Now in the next chapter, Arjuna is going to counter argument to all this. So it will be very interesting to see all of those, So Krishna says, even if you think, the logic Krishna uses is very, it's very interesting. In second chapter, he says, Arjuna, if you think this, if you think that the living entity is permanent, still you have no reason for not fighting. If you think that living entity is permanent, anyway, you're not killing them. Living entity is eternal, so you cannot kill them anyway. So you're not actually killing them. So just go and fight and temporarily kill them. You're anyway not killing them eternally. You're always eternal. You're not killing them. On the other side, if you think that the living entity is temporary, still you have no reason to. You have no reason for not fighting. Because if you think that they're temporary, anyway, you cannot save their life for a long time. You may be able to save their life for a few years or so, but it's a temporary. The life has to come to an end anyway. So you have no reason for not fighting. So just go and kill them. So Krishna says, even if you think they're permanent, you have no reason to fight. Even if you think they're temporary, you have no reason to fight. So, Arjuna will have no excuse after after hearing those counter arguments.
But Prabhuji, even though this argument could be used even somebody who's not thinking right, and they can also think that, oh, because it's not going to, somebody who's a criminal, basically, even he'll use the same argument saying that, oh, I can kill because it's not permanent, or because even the terrorists must be thinking in the same way, because it's written in their scriptures or whatever. But then there has to be some logic behind. I'm just saying that even.
No, you're right. Yeah, you have a valid question. Yeah. So another question could be, so Mohanji, did you hear that question?
मैं पूरा सुना ही नहीं दिया प्रभु जी.
So Swati, what she was asking is, so if we think that the living entity is temporary, and if we assume that it's okay to kill people like terrorists or anyone else, right? If they think that it's okay to kill people because anyway it's temporary, anyway life is temporary, or living entity is temporary in nature, then it's okay to kill people. So what if somebody takes this point in such direction.
See.
Okay. So another question that could arise, right? A meat-eating person, he may also think that it's okay to kill animals and eat meat, because anyway they are not permanent, they are temporary. Just like how Krishna is saying, Arjuna, anyway they are not temporary, they are not permanent, just go and kill. If the meat-eating person also saying like this, they are not permanent, I can kill them and I will not incur any sinful reactions. Okay. Now, so according to Dharma, according to Vedas, unnecessary killing is not recommended. Unnecessary killing will lead to sinful reactions. Unnecessary killing is sin. It will lead to sinful reactions. But when killing is needed, okay, when killing is needed to protect dharma, it is perfectly all right. When killing is needed to protect dharma, it is needed. Okay.
Against the aggressors, like
Yes. Yeah. All the 6 kinds of aggressors. Somebody is kidnapping one's wife, somebody is stealing one's property, somebody is killing the children, or so all those 6 kinds of aggressors. Yeah. There is no sin by killing them.
Or even like soldiers who fight in the war.
Yeah. It's their duty. It's their duty. Yeah. It's their duty. Yeah. It's their duty. So when somebody is performing duty and to protect dharma, somebody is killing others, they don't incur sinful reactions. But unnecessary killing, like the meat-eating people, killing animals, even though they are not killing directly, but they are the cause of, animal killing. In fact, there are 4, kinds of people who are involved in the meat-eating process. They get sinful reactions. Person who directly kills the animal, and person who transports that dead body from one place to another, and person who, the butcher, who cuts them into pieces, and the person who sells them, person who cooks, and person who eats. Okay. All these six actually. Yeah. All these 6 kinds of people, they incur the same amount of sin. Person who is just eating, who is buying meat in Safeway and cooking at home and thinking that I'm not killing, somebody else is killing, they may, they may be subject to sinful reactions. No, all these 6 people, they get equal amount of sin. So unnecessary killing has sinful reactions. Like these 6 kinds of people, it is described. And all these 6 kinds of people, they take those many number of birds as the number of hairs on the body of the animal. Okay. Let's say they are killing, cow, right? So all these 6 kinds of people, they take those many number of birds as the number of hairs on the body of the cow. So yeah, it is described. I do not know exactly which part of the Vedas it is there. Definitely from Manusmriti.
Yeah, I heard on YouTube Pravachanas.
Yeah.
6 people get sin, but I'm not sure where exactly.
Yeah. So definitely Manusmriti or Garuda Purana. Okay. So most likely Garuda Purana. Yeah. So Garuda Purana, it tells, right, about all these Papa and Punya, and how it also describes. I mean, if you read Garuda Purana, you will not even want to, leave your life. It's such horrible. And it is recommended to read Garuda Purana when there is a death in the family. Okay. Garuda Purana, it explains, it describes about the hellish planets, describes about all the 12 Yamapuris, After death, person goes to 12 Yamapuris. Okay, 12 months, 12 Yamapuris. Okay, every month, one Yamapuri. Before they go to either heavenly planets or hellish planets, or maybe back again to earthly planet. Okay, before their destination is decided, everyone goes through these 12 Yamapuris. Okay, where their account is checked, the Papa Punya, account is checked. Okay, so that's why, if somebody uh, uh, somebody dies in the family, right? The children, they perform a lot of charitable activities, especially during the 13 days, and even after that, every month until the first 1 year, they perform so many charitable activities. So the punya of these charitable activities performed by the children go to the elderly people, who passed away. So if they have not performed any charitable activities, even if they don't have any punya, but they get punya out of these charitable activities. And when they go to that, each of those Yamapuris, it helps them. It helps them cross to the next Yamapuri. And it's like next toll gate, right? So you don't have money to pay the toll at one toll gate. You are stuck there, So you should be able to, you should get some help to go to the next Yamapuri, and eventually go to either heavenly planets or take a human birth and come back to earthly planet. So
What about people who don't know that, oh, if I'm eating, let's say, cow or whatever meat, and that many hairs have to take on this birth? I'm sure if people knew that, they would be more inclined, I guess, not eating it.
Yeah, you are very right. You are 100% right. Most of the meat eaters, why they eat meat is lack of awareness. Lack of awareness. You are 100% right. If somebody educates them that this, first of all, this body, human body, is not designed, the digestive system in human body is not designed to eat meat. Only animal's body is designed to eat meat. The type of enzymes that are produced in their mouth, or the digestive system, small intestine, large intestine, how it is designed in human bodies and animal bodies is totally different. And human body is not meant for eating meat, only animal body is meant. And animals, even if they eat other animal, they don't incur any karma, because in animal life there's no karma. They just progress from one species to another species, from small insect to a to a higher animal, and so on. Okay, but they don't incur any karma. We see, right, on Discovery Channel or some YouTube videos, how lion is chasing the deer, and all those things. They don't incur any karma, because that's how they are created. That's their survival. Okay, and it's just a progression from one species, lower species, to higher species of animal life. Otherwise, there is no sin, or there's no karma there. Only for human beings, the karma process is there. And you are very, very true. If we educate people in various ways, first of all, forget about spiritual point of view, right? The body itself is not designed to eat meat. That's why all these cancers, right? Intestinal cancers, and one of my previous colleagues at Oracle is in his mid 40s actually. Just yesterday I was talking to him, and doctors told him that he has only 3 months or 4 months life. He's going through intestine cancer. When he's not a meat eater, he's a Brahmin, but he's not a meat eater. But somehow that intestine cancer developed, and he has only few months left. So I might go and see him. He's in Dallas. So yeah, 90% of the people, I would say, they eat meat due to lack of awareness, due to lack of education. So, first of all, it takes courage for us to educate to these people, because Remember in Anandamela, there were those charts at that Vedic booth. There were those big charts. One chart we have pursuit of happiness, liberty and pursuit of happiness. There's a big flow chart, and then there are different kinds of activities: food, entertainment, charity, money, work, all those things. How they can be performed in the mode of goodness and passion. And then there was another chart in the middle that describes, that has some statistics about people who commit, who violate the 4 regulative principles. 4 regulative principles are no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit affairs, no gambling. Okay, these are the 4 regulative principles. So what happens if one violates these 4 regulative principles? So we presented some statistics there, and we were talking to one lady, Western American lady, and so she was hearing patiently for 15-20 minutes, and when we came to that particular chart where we presented statistics about meat eating, right? How many people died of cancer because of meat eating and other statistics. So she could not take that. She said, I cannot give up meat eating. It's very difficult. She said, but if there is proper education and, if somebody sits one-on-one with her and, proper education is given, especially in India, right? Okay. A lot of people, Thursday, we went to meet one of our friends. Their parents are visiting, and they invited 3 or 4 other people, other families, and they were celebrating 50th birthday of their sister. Their sister was there, parents were there, so they called out for some gathering, and then they were cutting cake. Obviously, the cake is made of egg, right? Okay. So why they are doing that? They are Brahmin family. Okay, they are Brahmin family, and why they are cutting cake that's made of egg? It's only because of lack of awareness. Lack of awareness that they can easily get a cake without egg, and lack of awareness that even if they are eating cake made of egg, they incur same amount of sin as eating egg, or same amount of sin as killing an animal. They are not aware of it. So if somebody educates those people and they are become aware of these things, many people would stop eating meat. So
Soft copy of that.
the chart,
chart.
yeah.
Because I took the photos, but if there is a PDF or something.
Yeah, there are. So I'll share, on the group. I'll share on the group.
Because
So
I did read those statistics and everything.
yeah,
And also it was like I spent some time over there.
okay. Yeah, sure. I'll share those. And also a lot of people, the reason why they,
The mode of goodness, that is the same chart they gave. They have another 2 more charts.
yeah, Krishna, Randy. Painunar.
One is
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
Unite for goodness and kindness.
So just now, Randy, Lavanya,
And this is
this is a Bhagavad Gita class. So her name is Lavanya, and she is her daughter Mahati. We were just reciting one shloka. There is a verse in first chapter. Aho bata mahat papam. Mahat means great. So her name is Mahati, right? So how did you name her as Mahati? What's the meaning?
Narada's Veena's name is Mahati.
Oh, Narada's Veena's name is Mahati.
We wanted to name something related to music.
Okay.
So we were looking for in musical instrument names, Raga names, and then Mahati is Narada's Veena name.
Veena name. Okay. So I was thinking it came from the word Mahata, Mahat. In Sanskrit, Mahat means great. I was thinking maybe a person of great qualities,
Could be Mahati. Yeah, that Veena name might have come from that.
Yeah, even that name for Veena, I think it's the greatest Veena, right? Because Narada always glorifies Narayana. So maybe that is the highest, form of veena, greatest veena. That could be the reason. Yeah. Okay. Good. Nice name.
Did they make noise when the
No, they were upstairs. Yeah, playing nicely. So another reason, right? Why people choose to eat meat is they think that that's the easiest source to get protein. To get protein, okay, to get protein, vitamin D, B12, all these things, which are crucial for maintaining bone health and overall immunity in the body. So, but what is the cow eating? Is the cow eating meat? And what is the hen or chicken? What are they eating? They are not eating meat. So where is that energy coming from? Where are those proteins coming from? They are eating grains. If we eat sprouts, the moong dal sprouts or any sprouts, right? You get more amount of protein than that is there in the meat or egg. People don't know about this, and they simply think that's the easiest means of. Even in India, right? Doctors prescribe. If somebody is is very weak and especially typhoid and all those diseases, right? After typhoid, the one quick suggestion given by doctors is eat 2 eggs every day, so that you will become strong, and all the weakness will go away. You'll become strong.
I had typhoid when I was like in fourth grade, probably.
Hmm.
India. 2 months I suffered.
Yeah.
2 months, like everyday injections,
Yeah.
medicines, nothing worked out.
Yeah.
Finally, we went to Tirupati. We came back. Then we changed the doctor, and then it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. A person becomes very weak after typhoid. They become very weak. They lose a lot of weight and they become very weak. And the very quick suggestion given by doctors is eat meat and especially eggs.
Over
So,
here, I had gestational diabetes.
uh-huh.
And the first thing was that come to the dark
So
side.
before delivery itself, or
Yeah. Gestational diabetes is
Before.
during your pregnancy.
yeah.
So the first suggestion I had from my nutrition guide was that come to the dark side.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't eat eggs because I'm allergic, so that also. So it was only tofu and paneer, but then the suggestion is always that
Yeah.
try something, try. Even the Ayurvedic doctor over here.
Oh, they recommended that?
Even the Ayurvedic doctor over here.
Wow.
He's a Punjabi guy, and he's like, you are.
Or some
not an-
Sindhu or Siddhu, something.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard of that name.
Yes. He suggested start eating fish too.
Yeah.
Even in India, probably, like finding a good vegetarian restaurant is difficult.
Yeah.
Because I was traveling to another place for a holy place. Along the way, like there are all these non-vegetarian restaurants. Finding a vegetarian restaurant was difficult. Like 15, 20 years back, it was the other way around.
Yeah.
On the way, we used to find all the vegetarian restaurants. Now everything is changed.
What to speak of other places in India? Look at Tirupati.
Oh, yeah.
I recently went to Tirupati in April, and obviously on the Tirumala, it's completely banned. So okay, but when you fly or take a train or car, first you will go to Tirupati, right? And you might go in there in the night or somewhere, and you might stay in the hotel, and you need to eat food, right? So I was looking for a good vegetarian restaurant where in like a Brahmin Iyengar restaurant where they don't use onion and garlic, right? I was looking for a restaurant like that, and we were driving down the street looking at all restaurants, and I was seeing only veg, non-veg. Everywhere they say veg, non-veg, veg, non-veg, veg, non-veg, both. So in Tirupati, that's the state of situation.
There's ISKCON temple over there too.
Yeah, there is ISKCON temple.
There they give you, even if you say prasadam, they'll be full meal. And We
Yeah.
went there after a restaurant we came and they said prasadam. We didn't know.
Yeah.
And after a restaurant we come and then they like, we told you we make prasadam. So it was a full
Yes.
spread after that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a big temple. There is Govinda's restaurant in the
When
temple.
we went there, it was just a small hut long ago.
Okay.
It was just the
Yeah.
husband and wife over there who cooked an elaborate meal for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I went to Tirupati after a very long time, probably after 10, 12 years. So I did not know where ISKCON was. So that was my plan. Next day, to go to ISKCON also. But the very first day when I landed there, I wanted to eat something and I was looking for vegetarian restaurants where there is no onion garlic, Brahmin, Iyengar family hotels. And when I was looking around, everywhere they were all veg, non-veg everywhere. So finally, I found one nice Iyengar restaurant where you don't use onion garlic. Yeah. So
I wanted to bring one more thing in relation to what she said, that
Yeah.
if somebody doesn't know, then will they incur something bad? Because there was this WhatsApp group which I am a part of,
Mhm.
and throughout the pandemic and even before that, what they did is that they used every month we had our one person could take a turn and
Mhm.
then donate food at one of the shelters.
Okay.
So we did that. But then the shelters were only taking meat
Yeah.
as their thing because most of the people over there are Americans.
Yeah.
They were not taking things. So we were in a very confused state. I obviously gave vegetarian food and that I can only do that.
Yeah.
But everybody else was like, we are okay. So will they are doing a good deed over there by giving them food. But then without knowing, they probably have incurred.
Yeah. No, it's not a good deed. First of all, it's not a good deed. Yeah. It's not a good deed. It's
But they don't know about this. Will they still
ignorance is not an excuse. So if you're driving your car, first day in America, when you land here, first day you're driving, so you follow Indian driving laws and the cop catches you and you say, oh, I am ignorant. I did not know that I should drive on the other side and not this side.
Guruji, this is my real experience back in 20, Prabhuji, in 20, I think it was 2000.
Yeah.
And I used to work for a startup in Palo Alto.
Yeah.
And like how the startups are. So I was late up until like 1 o'clock in the office. And I was driving back at home, to home from Palo Alto to Sunnyvale. And somebody was driving in the wrong direction.
Oh, wow.
And I was so scared. And then I just changed my lane. I stayed in the rightmost lane and stayed there. And I let the guy pass. What can we do?
That person must be from India.
Yeah. I was telling my friend, there must be person from India. He took a right turn and now he does not know how to take exit.
Yeah.
And but good or bad, we didn't call the cop, like, because this guy was driving so fast. We didn't have any the plate or anything we noticed. So
Yeah.
I thought, hopefully somewhere.
Yes, but ignorance is not an excuse for getting rid of punishment. Yeah. So those who donated meat during pandemic time, thinking that they're feeding the people, right? No, they're not doing a good deed, first of all, because in chapter 18 Krishna explains how charity should be performed. Charity should be performed to people who are worthy of it. Okay, not everybody is worthy of charity. A person who is capable of working hard and earning bread and butter, what's the need of providing charity? What's the need of giving money to him? So charity should be performed to people who are worthy of. Okay, and then charity should be in the mode of goodness. It should not be in the mode of passion or ignorance. So what your friends did is charity in the mode of ignorance. So they are thinking that they are doing charity, but they are ignorant of the good and bad.
But they are all part of the art of living. They are all like, you know,
Yeah,
compassionate. They are all trying to do the right thing. They probably don't even know. I have to probably go back and tell them.
yeah, no, they did not get proper guidance. Probably, Sri, if Sri comes to know about it,
Yeah.
he will definitely
Because when they
prohibit that.
cooked food and they delivered, it was always sattvic food.
Yeah,
But because of the pandemic, they were taking only restaurant food,
yeah,
and they just gave whatever they like pizzas and things like that.
yeah. No, that is not true, because our temple has a food truck, right? In pandemic, during pandemic, we expanded our food truck service. From one food truck, we went up to 3 food trucks now. So we used to go to Seattle downtown and all these homeless shelters, Renton, Tacoma, various places, and delivered food to these people. Everybody was taking, everybody was liking. So there are different kinds how you can make. We were making burritos. Burrito, Americans, Western people, they take, right? So, and it was very tasty, and even we can eat nicely and they can eat nicely. Anybody can eat nicely. Yeah. So I mean, I think I don't know why they did that. Why they thought that they will not take vegetarian food, they'll only take non-vegetarian.
I think that's the feedback they got from the shelters. So
They may say that it's recommended to provide meat, but they don't deny if you are providing nice yummy vegetarian food. I mean, you can make nice pizzas, nice burritos, so many things, pasta, so many vegetarian options are there which these homeless people can eat. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's lack of
Yeah, and it's if they are like, if the food distribution is done by Indians, so normal expectation is it may be like Indian food. It's a like Indian flavor of the Western food with vegetarian stuff.
yeah,
That's how I have seen. Like it's not necessary that we have to supply.
yeah,
Like in Seva International, where I was working during the pandemic,
yeah,
like we did partnership with San Jose City and did the food distribution in entire Bay Area.
Mhm.
And it's basically, I know sometime like the city has given non-veg to us. It's to be honest, like, but when we were doing our food drives, it's all like vegetables and food that we prepare at home, distributing that.
Yeah. So, and also when you see a homeless person right on the street, we encounter the homeless people at the traffic lights, right? They stand holding a board, cardboard, saying homeless person, anything helps, like that. Most of the times the tendency is to take out some cash from our wallet and give it to them. So even that is also is in the mode of ignorance. Charity in the mode of ignorance.
I just did
I
that
did
today.
You just did that today?
I did that too, coming out of Redwire and back.
Yeah.
I think I'm buying so much for myself. I need to give
So tell me why it is in the mode of ignorance.
because they probably can, like you said, they are capable of earning for themselves. And
No, let's say you see a really a very old man or old woman, very weak and not able to, let's assume they are not able to work. Okay, they need some help, and you're giving money to them. Still, it is called. So first of all, they are meeting the first qualification. They are worthy of charity. Okay, but the kind of charity that you are giving, the money that you are giving, is charity in the mode of ignorance. Why?
We don't know what they're doing with that money.
Exactly. So if they go to some McDonald's and buy a burger or hot dog, or if they go to a wine shop and buy some alcohol, yeah. So
And this is the kind of experience I have in San Francisco, like back in 2007.
Mm.
like in 7th Street, 6th Street. So there are like number of homeless sitting, and
Yeah.
like kind of okay, like, and they were like, hey, give me dollar bill or $2 bill or $5 bill. So I have given once like a $5 bill.
Yeah.
And the first thing is the guy went into the shop and bought a cigarette packet. And what this guy was, and he was like, I thought he's hungry, he will eat food and something, and he used that money for buying cigarette packet. And I don't know, I'm not going to give any time
Yeah.
money to
That's
this
right.
guy.
They'll only eat meat. They'll only eat meat or buy cigarette or alcohol. So you were saying something?
Yeah, in front of Target, a homeless person approached me. First of all, I found that very, I like how, but then he asked, can you buy me something warm to wear or something? So I took him inside, that go get what you want.
Yeah.
So I checked him out, and then I asked him if you want some coffee or whatever, you can take that. But then I made sure that I buy it for him
Yeah.
and give it in his hand. And that is what my mother-in-law also does. She
Yeah.
stand in front of a chart counter, she just take chart and she won't give money. But
Yeah.
I have given money
Yeah. Yeah.
only because I buy these things, groceries, and I feel guilty about.
Yeah.
Now I know better.
Yeah. So that's why we can always carry some fruits in our car. And whenever you see a homeless person at the traffic light, you can ask him and give the fruit. You know, you can carry multiple things. You can carry chips packet or some juice bottles or something. Yeah, I mean, we see these people in standard locations, right?
Yes.
We pass those locations every day. So if you're really in the mood of charity and if you want to give something, this is how you can do. You can carry something from home. You can even carry nice food in a box and give it to them. They'll happily take it. Yeah. So
They won't be there the day we carry food. We always
yeah. So yeah, then we just bring it back and yeah, we can just bring it back and we can eat. You know. So
But they
no.
also, do promotion to like, touch your heart. Like the family that I saw today was like, a man and a small baby and everything. So, and it was the light, right? It was right next to me, and they're like, please give me.
Yeah.
And they just touched my heart because there's a baby there.
Yeah.
So I just, whatever I had in my wallet, I give.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking maybe the baby wants, like baby food or something, and
Yeah.
the baby will look like tired and sleepy in the heat.
Yeah.
What parent would want to willingly go and do that?
Exactly.
So I thought maybe, this is my way of helping the baby, not necessarily the parents, maybe the baby.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I was motivated to give.
Yeah. That compassion is definitely highly appreciated, but we have to do charity in the mode of goodness. Yeah. So I mean, seeing a baby, probably they may qualify the first qualification worthy of charity. I mean, obviously the parents can do some hard work and get it. But if there is a young child and baby, they may meet the qualification of worthy of charity. So we can provide some charity, but some food, groceries, or some clothes, fruits, anything other than money. Yeah, or some toys, maybe, whatever. So yeah, so going back to your point, right? You're right. If we educate people, then there are many people who are ready to change. Actually, lack of awareness, so they are eating meat, but they are willing to. They'll
It's
be ready
very
to.
hard, Prabhu, though.
It's hard.
It is like I've tried, and I work with nutritionists who, because I work in the clinic and I talk to them. They're like, what nonsense are you saying?
Yeah.
You look at the Neanderthal or, the cavemen.
Yeah.
They have all the enzymes to process this, and, trypsin is present. Your thing is, so like all these, they will back up with facts too, and they say cavemen ate meat. They didn't have it, they actually ate uncooked meat.
Mhm.
And then over time they learn to cook. So your basis of like, oh, people should only eat vegetables or grains is
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. And to look at the world population, how many people are pure vegetarian, how many people actually suffer in that?
Yeah.
is very minimal
Yeah.
amount of people. So they back up with that, like saying all these people are not dead, they're fine, they aren't getting cancers. And it's a nutrition. They train people who are, prescribing medications or telling patients to eat, and they will fight you. They will not like it. And
Yeah, yeah.
I've got into trouble like that.
Yeah.
Trying to promote, not even saying like, oh, you should eat like sattvic food. Just saying, trying to move away or saying don't eat. They will get mad.
Yeah.
So I feel bad to like I'm a part of that.
Yeah.
Probably say you come to the dark side.
They would
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you might be inclined to listen to what they are saying, after some time we might be inclined to what they are saying,
So they back it up with facts.
Yeah.
But they don't know what the heck. Now, this is a new information. Like that's very shocking to me. Saying, "Oh, you eat animal that many hairs that many," but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone else who I know who want to do that. But they'll be like, "Oh, that's bogus," right? And that hurts your feelings when people say that.
Yeah.
Like there's facts and there's the scriptures saying that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a big challenge to talk to these people about no meat eating topic, right? It's a big challenge. It's a very difficult thing. We should go with some data points. But the very first thing that we can start the argument is, you're eating cow, but tell me what the cow is eating. Where does the cow get the protein from? Where does the cow get all that energy from? Just ask that simple question. I know they'll have their own answer. They'll have their clever answer, better than that. But start an argument with that. And when you have some other data points to present, we can, with some great, difficulty, with some effort, we can win our argument there. So we have to see their receptive level also, right? First of all, if somebody is completely ignorant and oblivious, they say they don't even want to listen, right? So we don't have to tell anything to them, so yesterday, in the temple, there was a IIT professor. He was visiting from India. So during that lecture, one of our devotees asked a very nice question that when we talk to people who have scientific, inclination and who believe that science can answer many of these questions. One day, science can even show God and spirituality. And people who believe that everything came from the periodic table with all those 108 or so many elements, right? They believe that everything came from those periodic table elements. There is no other source beyond that. So how do we convince those people? How do we explain to those people? How do we educate those people that everything came from, God? Everything came from that supreme God who is beyond any cause, who is causeless. He does not have any cause. One who is the cause of all causes, he does not have any cause. Okay, Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, he is Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes, but he doesn't have any cause. Okay, so how do we explain, how do we convince these people about this fact? And that Prabhuji gave a very nice answer. You know what he said? We are not here to convince those people. You educate them, you preach them. Part of your duty, you preach them. But we are not here to convince them. We are here to get convinced ourselves. So first of all, you should be convinced that Krishna is the cause of all causes. I mean, we hear that theoretically, we know that theoretically, but how much you are convinced of it? How strongly you are convinced about that? How much faith do you have in that? That Krishna is the cause of all causes. How much surrender do you have? How much you are convinced? That is more important. So if you are convinced, then simply by seeing you and by your behavior, the others will transform. So they say that preaching is a full-time activity. Preaching is a full-time activity, like a 24 hours activity. In between, we open our mouth. Sometimes we open our mouth. So what does that mean? That means preaching should be done most of the times by our behavior, so that others will simply by looking and observing, they will follow. And in between the words, we speak some words to educate, but otherwise preaching should be full-time activity. So that was a very interesting answer that he gave. Similarly, whatever we are able to tell, we tell to those meat eaters, saying that meat eating is bad. If they're convinced, it's good for them. Otherwise, whatever they hear, it will be there in their brain, right? So one day they'll ponder over it, and they'll stop, eating meat. So yeah. So why did we come to this topic? The last verse, 45 in 40. Yeah, atonement, right? Yeah, we were discussing the point of atonement. If somebody performs abominable activities, if they do proper prayaschitta, they don't go to hell. Okay, so then I think Swati asked that question. Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So it's 7:15. I think we can quickly recite verse 46 and say that we concluded the chapter. So one of the things that produce happiness chemicals, there are various things, right? You do various things that produce happiness chemicals, right? The endorphin, dopamine, and oxytocin is the fourth one, I forget. Huh? Serotonin. Yeah, these four chemicals, happiness chemicals. So different activities you perform, and these happiness chemicals are released. So one of those activities is completing a task. When you complete a task, it releases happiness chemicals. So let's all get that happiness chemical by completing the chapter today. Verse 46. Sanjaya uvacha eva muktarjuna sanke ratopasta upavishat vishrujya sasharam chapam shoka sambigna manasaha. Sanjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again, setting aside his bow and arrows. Such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge. So, yeah, in the beginning, Arjuna was he was very passionate, and he was ready to see who and all came here to fight. He asked Arjuna, Senayor Ubayor Madhye Radham Stapayame Achyuta. He asked Achyuta, please take the chariot in the middle of the battlefield between the two armies. Let me see who has come here to fight against me. He was in the mode of passion, to fight. He was standing with his bow and arrows. But now he sat down with lamentation, and he's not ready to fight. So, okay. So maybe in the next class, we can do a summary of this chapter, what we discussed, and then we can go to the next chapter. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to India for a month.
Oh, you're also going to India?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not this weekend, but after August 21st.
21st.
Yeah.
Okay.
Afternoon, it's a class.
Okay.
I'll see how it goes. I'll try to attend.
Yeah.
Because it's morning time there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending on where I am, so I'll be traveling.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think the next few sessions we'll be doing this recap, and then maybe some discussion, question and answers. Question and answer, they are always interesting, right? One question takes the whole class. So we'll do something before we actually begin the second chapter, so that Naresh, you, everyone comes back from vacation. Yeah. So anything else before we wrap up? Any quick questions?
I'll keep it for my next class.
Yeah.
Reserve it.
No, if you have a question, ask the question. We'll discuss the answer next.
We discussed meat and egg. I had a similar question about onion and garlic. What is the philosophy
Behind onion and
not
garlic.
eating that?
Okay. Yeah, we'll discuss in the next week session then.
Video
Is session recorded?
Yeah, it's recorded. Yeah.
There is a short YouTube video by Amu Vilapro
Okay.
on YouTube regarding onion.
It's
and
sweet. Okay, fruits.
Fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fruits and
he explains like what is the reason behind onion and garlic, and also he gives various cultures to avoid